If you've ever found yourself in a confusing or uneven connection, maybe a new friend, colleague, or romantic interest, and you start feeling anxious, distant, or unsure what to say, before you reach out, try this. The Confidence Coming Out course has 3 steps in the beginning, which is bringing subconscious to conscious awareness. Number 2 is communication. And number 3 is the care package. It'll help you sort through the noise in your nervous system so you can meet your own need first and then communicate clearly without blame or performance. So let's do it. I had a new friend I'd only met once and spoken on the phone once and had lots of text messages with. And suddenly they stopped initiating. But before, they were vibrant, initiating, and it seemed reciprocal. And my mind then went to straight into a story. So I opened my journal and walked through the Confidence Coming Out course, step 1, 2, and 3, which is consciousness, communication, and care package. And we're going to go through it and show you how I do this daily with things that might come up. So settle in, get your nervous system down, and bring to mind a situation that ranges from a 2 to a 4 anxiety level, from a 1 to a being the highest. So we're getting a lower grade anxiety story and something where you feel a push pull. It's either you're wanting to retreat, you're wanting to not speak, you're wanting to speak a lot, come at them and reach more, do more. That's the scenario we're looking for today. So start with body sensations. When we bring this to mind, what happens in our body? And for me, that situation of feeling that person pull away when it had just felt like it was getting good and I was starting to really get to know them felt really hollow ache in my chest and stomach. And that mix of disappointment and sadness. So you want to bring up, what does that sensation in your body, what emotion does it bring up? Allow yourself to emotionally regulate. And that might mean actually having the emotion. And I know that's probably going to be really difficult, but we're going to move. You're going to notice that as you do this work, you may have to have the emotion because if it's already there, then it's now existing in some way, shape, or form. Or we can do the reprogramming, which may de escalate and allow you to see it differently in your mind. But again, if it's in your body, we still have to do something somatically. So B, we did B of the bias key. We're going to do I, and this is how we bring subconscious into conscious awareness. You might not get your ingrained belief right away. Like I had shown you in videos before, there's a list of ingrained beliefs that we're trying to look at and hone down into. Try to find at least 1 to 3, the strongest one out of that list. For me, it was maybe I did something wrong. So I felt bad. Maybe I'm a burden. And maybe they're pulling away because I showed some vulnerability. That's a story, right? That's part of the story at the end. So I'm just going to say I'm a burden and I did something bad. Those are the 2. Automatic actions. I noticed myself wanting to either retreat completely or over explain to fix. Landing myself in the middle of that is very difficult. Having to pause but not retreat to take care of myself in this moment as I'm doing now. Have the emotion is really helpful to get out of the body. And that might mean going for a walk, caring for the need. If you can't have the emotion, the need is probably going to bring it up for you. So the story usually comes from the ingrained belief, like, well, I'll probably have the story before I even know what the ingrained belief is they must have lost interest and or been scared off. Something I did. But Instead of sending a text from that story, I pause. So instead of just responding and being like, the worst case scenario for me would probably be like, why haven't you texted me yet? Or what's going on? Or this is the anxious response, right? Yesterday we talked about that. I realized the story was my attachment speaking. Your attachment can take over your actions, but it's not the truth. The sensations and beliefs were old data, not current reality. So, number two is communication with self. If I have an ingrained belief, I need to be working on that on a regular basis. And the one is I'm a burden or I'm bad could be like, I'm not good enough. How have they shown that I'm good? Or 100% true that I did something wrong or that they've lost interest or been scared off? Maybe not, because I know that they had a story with me. They told me why there was distance. And my body and my system and my attachment style, even if that person has given me this explanation, I still may go to that story. I may still react with feelings and body sensations and automatic actions and gray beliefs. And that is actually trying to seek something out for myself, right? It means that I haven't healed something and I haven't healed whatever I need to be doing for myself. What is it that I'm seeking from this person? It's attention, maybe. We're going to go to the band key. But before we do, which is a way of getting us to find our need in this scenario and how to fulfill that through the care package, it would be great for you, once you have done the bias key, to set up some reasoning of why your ingrained belief is not 100% true. Or what is it that you know or could guess about the other person and what's going on with them that could disprove in just a little bit that they must have lost interest or been scared off, or whatever the story is for you. Write that down. Then do as many as you can about your ingrained belief, as if, are you 100% bad? No. And how are you good? How have you been showing up? What is it? And this will bring up what your needs are when you do this, actually, because it'll be like, well, I'm good because I've done X, Y, and Z. And what I really need is, so do about 10 of those of how you're good, how you're not a burden, how you showed up in a way that you didn't do anything wrong. And if you did, then you have needs, right? And those needs might mean like, I want someone to be accountable for certain things, and I'm not seeing them. Or, okay, so we're going to do the band key, which brings us into the needs. Now, using the band key, it's a somatic map to bring care back into connection. So again, body sensations and emotions. I'm feeling tight in the chest and a little tense in my throat. I just need to breathe. And we can do a breath exercise to regulate our emotions. Breathe in through the nose for 4, hold for 2, exhale through the mouth for 6, and do that for about 10 times. And if you want to pause this video to do that for yourself, to get yourself regulated and count 10 of those regulating breaths to get yourself back down, it'll be helpful to find your necessary need in this equation. So we got the emotions, we got the automatic actions, which is my pattern to wait silently or withdraw. I don't feel rejected, to appease, be like, oh, I'm good. I'm giving them their request and I don't need certain things in this moment. But the reality is I may have limits, right? And what are those? That leaves me resentful and unclear, obviously, because a certain amount of time might be too much for me. Hey, in order to keep the momentum in our relationship, I'm realizing this is a need and a request. I need more consistency. I noticed in the past, we're pretty regularly and it felt mutual. And I know that you're going through something, but can you see how this space might feel disruptive to me? Since I don't know you very well, I'm wanting a little bit of consistency do you think you could reach out in 4 days and just say, hey, I'm thinking of you, or hey, how are you doing? Are you available for me to do that? And actually reciprocate. I'm hoping that we can find a middle ground so that we don't end the momentum because it might actually hinder our connection moving forward. Yeah. And whatever you say about your needs should feel like a relief at this point. And it might take a little while to get there. So I'm going to just tell you what my computer says right there. I need clarity, rhythm, and reciprocity, which I think in some ways I said, and consistent effort that helps me feel grounded in this new connection to keep the momentum. That momentum part was really important for me. And by naming that, I moved from emotional chaos into clarity. I could see that my real need wasn't for them to change, but for me to express what helps me feel safe and connected when change occurs. Once I regulated, I could finally write a message that reflected my need, not my fear. And here's what that looked like. Hey, I've really enjoyed our connection. Notice I feel a bit ungrounded without a clear rhythm, especially since we haven't spent much time together yet. I do best with some mutual effort and a little planning ahead. Maybe a call could help us talk about what you'd like from this connection too, so we can find a rhythm that feels good for both of us. You can try some options. This is you dealing with a 2 to 4 anxiety level situation, right? I'd say try something that's lower stakes. For instance, this is a new connection for me. And if I don't speak to them again, I haven't exactly lost much. I've only seen them once, talked to them on the phone once, and it's been an extended amount of texting time, but not really all that deep. So I don't have a huge investment in it. So I would suggest trying a scenario like that. Talking to your barista, like being upset about something, changing your mind about something, voicing something that's not that big of a deal if it's a no, not that big of a deal if you have to walk away. And you'll see the difference in how your body reacts by just voicing it. It might still feel nervous, but there's an exhale that happens. In this situation, I wasn't trying to get closeness. I was trying to model it for myself and them. I wasn't trying to fix the disconnection. I was inviting collaboration. And that's the power of conscious care. It's that we give ourselves what the need is. If you're feeling dysregulated, before you communicate to the other person or the outside world, try to find what that need is. And so what I said was clarity, rhythm, and reciprocity. How do you give that to yourself? What was it that you were looking for? What saddens you or makes you have that tight chest and throat and feel sad or disappointed? What was it that you thought you were going to lose by saying or doing something different? For me, I thought I was going to lose somebody's attention, being special in some way. So, how can I make myself feel special? Maybe just having communication with another person felt good. And I was like, oh, yeah, if that goes away, now I'll have this much less communication with a fun friend, someone I thought had similarities to me and we could talk about certain things. Maybe I need to reconnect with myself, do more journaling. Maybe I need to go for a walk. Maybe I need to call a friend. Maybe I have to remind myself how I already have that in my life in other ways. And paying more attention to the needs that are probably not being met, not just in that connection, but in relationship to yourself. What is the loss that you're having and worried about? And why does that feeling seem so strong in you? Because it has to do with them in some ways. because they're appearing, but in a lot of ways, it has nothing to do with them at all. So, in realizing that, knowing that no matter what happens with the scenario outside of you, the lessons are still yours to keep and deal with. So, next time you find yourself in a loop, whether codependent, reaching for reassurance, or counterdependent, pulling away to stay safe, pause and walk through the bias key and the band key and the ingrained belief and emotional regulation, the first three steps of the confidence coming out course. You'll uncover what your body is really saying, which old belief is running the show, what automatic action is happening, and what your real need actually is. When you meet your need, you restore inner connection. And only then are you ready to rebuild connection with others. That's how care for yourself becomes the practice that restores conflict, one moment, one need, one breath at a time. So try this tonight. Number one, write down a situation that feels tense or confusing. Number two, use your bias and band key to decode your internal story. And number three, draft a message or boundary from a regulated place, not to fix, but to invite clarity. So if you're interested in more things like this that'll help you move through conflict within yourself and outside, then sign up for my Confidence Coming Out course. Go to raylifecoaching.com and you'll get weekly emails that will guide you through this process, as well as free worksheets every week or something to that extent, whether it be a visualization, audio, or another video totally separately to guide you through, but also a way to get to be a part of first chance to try out the Confidence Coming Out course, the 3 steps that are free, and then also any discounts on moving forward starting 2026. So let's get prepared for the next year and have it be a better one, please. See you around.